The rear bumper of an SL63 AMG must be removed if, for instance, a Parktronic sensor is defective or if there's damage to the finish. Before you begin with the removal, raise the vehicle onto the lift. When the vehicle is at a comfortable working height, you can get started. First, push the fender liner aside to get better access to the first screw. With the first screw removed, proceed to the second one. The next 3 screws form a connection between the bumper and the heat shield and must also be removed. When this is finished, proceed with the 2 screws on the underside of the rear bumper. Now on the passenger side, remove 5 fixing bolts as we've already done on the driver's side. Afterwards, let the vehicle down again and open the trunk lid. To do this, press the button for the Vario roof. Then turn off the ignition. Now with the emergency key, unlock the trunk and bring the trunk lid into assembly position. To avoid damage to the pipe frame or the hinge, support the trunk lid with suitable tools. Now remove the trunk lid partition. To do this, remove a split rivet on both sides using an assembly wedge. The rear of the partition is only clipped. Undo the clips by hand. Now on the left and right, undo the quick fastener. When the trunk partition is disconnected at all corners and sides, it can be taken out. Next, remove the fixtures and fittings of the trunk partition. For this, undo 1 screw on each side. Remember to disconnect the plug of the limit switch on the right side of the partition. Afterwards, lift out the floor covering and also the spare wheel mold. The trim of the rear center section is removed next. But before that, remove the trim of the trunk lid lock. Then these 4 split rivets are next. Afterwards, remove 4 clips. Now remove the trim of the rear center section, but only until you can access the plug connection of the trunk light and the 12-volt outlet. Once the plug connections are separated, take out the trim. So that you can later remove the left and right trunk trim, unscrew now this Y securing stop. Do the same on the right. Then remove the 2 fixtures of the baggage net. Once this is finished, 3 split rivets are next. Remove these with an assembly wedge. Next is the assembly cover. Simply unclip this. If you now loosen the trunk seal, then it's easier to take out the trim. The trim must also be removed on the driver's side of the trunk. For the next step, remove the holder of the air scarf control device. Undo both screws and then push the holder upwards and take it out. Also remove the insulation mat. The bumper is held to the bodywork with the next two screws. Remove them. Once the screws are removed, the fender sinks down a little. Repeat these steps on the passenger side. With this done, unscrew both nuts in the rear center section. As you see, they're somewhat hidden. Now all screws of the rear bumper are removed. Disconnect the plug of the PTS. Then with a colleague, you can remove the rear bumper. Lead the cable harness of the PTS through the opening in the bodywork. We have one more important tip for you. If you carry out repair work on the PTS, pay attention with the installation of the sensor that the silicone ring fits properly. Since the PTS sensor must fit properly in the bumper for it to work correctly.